today's video. In today's video we're going to be going over and installing this 20-inch light bar that I received from a company called Oedro, or Oedro. I think it's Oedro. Sorry if I mispronounced the name. But anyway, they contacted me a couple weeks ago and asked me if I would do a review on one of their products. They simply said just choose something from our website, we'll send it out, do a video on it and enjoy it. In return you can get to hold on to it. So I went ahead and I picked up a 20-inch light bar from them. Now I've already got one on my 4Runner from Beam. It's a 32 or 36 inch, and I have that underneath the front bumper, and that's more or less it's excellent for a driving light because my headlamps are garbage. But I wanted another light bar to go up higher to act as a spotlight, and I kind of thought about putting one on the hood, but it seemed to me that it was going to be a distraction, and plus I also considered installing a poison spider louvered hood. Even though it's for Jeeps, I really couldn't see anything in the picture that would keep it from being able to be installed on my hood. I thought about putting it right above the windscreen on the roof, but I didn't want to drill into my roof, and if I eventually go to a full-length roof rack like a Gobi, then it's going to obstruct that. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to put it between the lower and the upper forward bars of my current roof rack. I'll go ahead and drill through those, and I'll mount it using the hardware. But a quick little overview of this light. It's 11,200 lumens, which is pretty darn bright. I know my other one's 15,000, and that's ridiculous. So this is gonna do more than what I want it to do. It's gonna be pretty good. Comes with stainless steel brackets with 45 degrees of adjustment. It's got 50,000 hour lifespan. It's got some nice cooling fins on the back. The beam is a combination beam. It's waterproof up to 3.3 feet, roughly 1 meter. It's got a 6000 K color temperature, and the exact dimensions, if you are interested in this specific light, is 19.68 inches wide, 3.47 inches high, and it's 2.52 inches deep. I'm going to go ahead and leave a link in the description below to their main website and their Amazon store. They have a large selection of all sorts of different products. They have a bunch of light bars. They have bulbs and a couple other things. Prices are very, very reasonable. Feel free to check them out. If I like this, I think what I'll do is order some 4x4 LEDs, probably 2 of them, 4x4 LED light bars, and I want to, the idea is to bolt them on the bottom of my back bumper, but then butt them right up against the sides of the hitch, in some way, shape, or form hardwire them into the reverse lights so that when I put on my reverse lights, those will come on as well, so I can see a little bit better. I don't really know how I'm going to do that. I know it's possible. I've seen videos of people doing it before, but dealing with electronics is certainly not my forte. It's just something I've never been able to grasp a hold of. But here's the light bar. Here are the brackets down here, and here's the wiring harness, which looks pretty cut and dry. It doesn't come with instructions, but you really can't mess this up. You have your positive and your negative right here. That's going to go to the battery. You have your relay right here. You'll have to find a place to put that. Here's your on-off switch. Here's your wires from the light. You'll have to wire those up with the wires that come with the wiring harness, but that's just going to be a couple caps and some heat shrink, or however you feel like going about doing it. They gave you plenty of length of harness, so I think it's going to be more than plenty to be able to do this job. So I'm going to go ahead and move the 4Runner, give you kind of an idea about where I want to put it, and then we'll go ahead and install it. And it's 5 minutes to noon right now, so I'll be able to turn it on and show you what it looks like, but I want to wait till dark, and I want to take it up. There's this gravel road that's up in the mountains it gets pretty dark out there. There's no street lights, and it's really close to the house. So what I'll do is I'll slowly drive through there. You're not going to be able to hear anything except for I'll probably just throw some music in there because it's going to be off my GoPro and it's going to be outside, so it's going to be loud as hell. But I'll do headlights only, I'll do this only, I'll do the aux beam only, and then I'll do a combination of everything, and I'll put annotations in the video so you can get an idea as far as what it is you'll be getting when you get this product. So yeah, check them out. They got a lot of good products. Prices are very, very reasonable. I'm excited to install this, and let's quit jibba-jabbing and get to it. Now that's obviously not centered. I just have it sit up there right now. Nothing's permanently mounted. That's going to be give or take how it's going to be mounted up there. So I'll have the mounts at the bottom, and then it'll also sit up against the top bar right there, so it should be plenty secure. Let me get the screws. I'm going to have to figure this out. I'm not going to be able to film the whole installation because this video will just drag on forever, but I'm going to go ahead and grab the hardware and get a drill gun, and I'm going to start measuring my lines out, figure the exact center location of that light bar and the center location of that roof rack, and scribe it, and then start drilling some holes. I'm going to have to look around my shop to see if I have some washers. I'm pretty sure I do. Hopefully that will fit the hardware, but if not, I'll just hone out the hole of the washer. We'll get it to work, but I'm going to scratch my head here a little bit. So the only thing I have against this product so far is I wish they gave you more options for mounting. Like when I got the aux beam, they gave me 2 different sets of mounting brackets and a whole bunch of hardware. This just comes with the brackets that are already installed in the bottom of the light, and they give you a set of bolts and some washers and some nuts to install it. So I wish they had more options, and I also wish that it mounted from the side. It only mounts from the bottom, as again the aux beam, it mounts from the sides, which gives you a little bit more freedom as far as I think places to put it. It also allows more adjustment for for whatever angles you may need. So those are really right now the only thing I have against it. Is I wish it had a bigger selection of hardware to mount with, and I wish that it mounted from the sides and just not the bottom. I really think that's just restricting the mobility of the product itself. But other than that, so far the build quality seems to be good, and I'm pretty impressed with everything so far. It seems to be easy enough. I think the wiring is actually a little bit easier than what aux beam gave me. Their wiring harness was a little bit, I don't want to say it was outrageous, but it was more than what this was. So I think this is going to be easier to wire up. But again, just the mounting issue, that's going to be that's the only thing I don't like about it so far. So let's see where we're at right now. Actually, I've been doing quite a bit of stuff since the last time I filmed. So trying to install the light on top of the roof rack while I was monitoring the truck was a little bit of an issue. So I had to take the roof rack down, which all the stuff for the CB was in the way. So I decided, well, I might as well relocate the CB to where I want it if I have to pull everything apart. So I relocated it on the bottom right hand side of the steering column where I had it before, just because when I want to hook up my the device to tune it the way it was before, yeah, it looked really neat, but I had to literally rip apart the whole dash, starting from the center console all the way up to the radio, just to access the back of the CB to hook up the tuner and then plug everything back in. So I went ahead and just relocated it back to where it was before. So took the roof rack down, brought it in the garage, and here's where I'm at right now. It's mounted, it's hard mounted to the actual rack itself. I have the rack back on the truck. I have to get it leveled, and I'm going to tighten it back up, and then I'm going to take the Allen keys, which didn't come with the kit. Also, that was another thing that I wish that they had put in there, was an Allen key. Take an Allen key and then level out the light to where I want it, and then we'll run the wire. So we're almost done hard mounting it, and then once we get that done and squared away, we'll get to wiring it and figuring out where I'm going to put the switch. I'm not sure yet. I'd really like to get some actual toggles and make it look really, really good, but I don't know how to break into their switch because it's encased in this plastic capsule with a button, and wire that up to a toggle switch. I found schematics of how people do it, but I just, for fuck's sakes, I can't understand it. I think I'd have an easier time deciphering a VCR instruction manual written in Vietnamese and understand wiring schematics. That's just, again, just something I was never good at. But I'm going to finish my Coke. It is a little warm out here, and we're going to finish this project up. Hopefully it won't be too bad. Alright, we've got power. Look at my wiring job here. This is cringeworthy. It makes Fedora's Tupperware job on his Jeep look like some shit some electrical engineer would do. Well, I got power there. I checked to make sure my other light bar worked. I'm going to attempt to clean this up. Right now, I got the wiring harness ran up there through the weather strip and up there to the side. I'm going to heat shrink that up there and then hide the rest of it, and then we're going to try to find a place to put the my damn dog's barking. Find a place to put the switch, and then we got to find some level ground, or level enough to aim the light to where we want it. And then I'm going to wait till tonight and again go up that gravel road that I was telling you about earlier, which is actually going towards my Aunt Pam's house. It's about a 2 or 3 mile long gravel road, a bunch of twists and turns and ups and downs, and there's no street lights in the middle of the woods, so that'll give you guys a good chance to check out the light, see how it performs. Okay, so to show you how I wired this thing, there's the light bar right there. I have it mounted to the rack. Wire comes down and it runs the length of that weather stripping down this way. It shoots out and goes under the hood, hooks the battery in there. Again, you've seen in one of the clips, my wiring job is a mess. I'm not very good at it. It's just zip ties and find a spot to put it. The switch comes up from that same direction. I have it coming into the door, down, and don't mind the mess. I have it coming in down there through the back. Underneath that's the hookup to my CB. Don't mind that. And it comes out and it goes right there. I'd like to find toggles because you have insert there, an insert there, and you have some inserts here and down there. That went for the e-lockers and some other shit that came with the 5 cylinders, or not the 5 cylinders, what the hell am I talking about? The 5-speed 4 cylinders and the limiteds. They had e-lockers and shit like this, but no, the SR5, the off-road model, does not. But yeah, that's how I have it wired up. Alright, so we are all done with the installation. Roof rack back on. The light is hard mounted on. I got it where I want it. I got all the wiring done. I actually rewired the CB as well. Everything where I want it to be. I think all in all it was a very, very simple project. Again, their wiring harness was really easy to understand. You don't need instructions, and even if you're not very good at electrical, you really can't fuck that up. You have a place to put positive and negative on your battery. All the relays and fuses are hooked up for you. So you just pretty much wire the wiring harness to the wire that's provided on the light and mount it wherever you want it to go, and it's a done deal. What I like about it, I like the fit and finish. It looks good. It's pretty bright even in the daytime. It was easy to install. The price point on the website for all their products is about right where I want it to be, because you guys know some of these light bars, these big 52 inches, they can get a couple $100 for what, a light bar? It's crazy. What I don't like about it, and this is gonna go same with the aux beam as well, I don't like the switch. It does feel cheap. However, they did give me longer cord to work with, longer wire to work with for the switch, so I had more options as far as locations to mount the switch with this light bar opposed to the aux beam. So I did like the length of wire that they gave me for that. The fit and feel of the switch, I don't like that at all. But I guess to keep the price point down, you have to, sacrifice on certain things. I would like to try to figure out a way how to get some nice hard toggle switches, because I still have all the cutouts in my dash for where the electronic lockers go, because even though I have the big dick pipe laying V6 SR5 off-road model, believe it or not, that does not come with electronic lockers. You get that with the 5-speed 4-banger, not with the big off-road package. So I have all those cutouts, so I can maybe press the inserts out and put some nice toggle switches in there to make it look real nice. I'd like to do that, just try to figure out how to do it. Also, I don't like how it mounts from the bottom only. I think with a 20 inch and up, I think should mount from the side, but maybe also give you the option to mount from the bottom. I think it should come with the ability to mount from the side and from the bottom, along with the hardware to do so. I think anything less than a 20 inch, like the 8 inch or 7 inch or whatever it is, and the 4 inches should just be a single mount bolt, because that's more than likely just going to be a spot lamp or something along the lines of what I want to do, which is mount it to the back bumper and hardwired into the reverse lights. But let's see, I had to do some modifications, and those modifications are not because Oedro is at fault. That was just based on the applications that I had. What I mean by that is the bolts that came with the mounting hardware, they weren't long enough to fit through the bars of my roof rack. So I drilled the holes into the roof rack. I actually had to take a big C-clamp and squish it down a little bit more, make it flat on both top and bottom, and I was able to get just a little bit of the thread through the bottom of it, and I didn't want to squish the roof rack anymore in fear that I would possibly ruin the structural integrity of it. So I ended up finding a longer bolt and nut of the same size, and I used the lock washer that came with the kit, and I used that instead to mount it. But all in all, it was a pretty easy project. The thing that had me scratching my head the most was how the fuck I was going to mount it to my roof rack. It was a little bit more difficult than I first anticipated, but all in all, good project. I'm going to quit talking for now. The next scene that you guys are going to see is going to be from my GoPro. I'm going to mount that, I think, well, I'm going to mount that on the roof somewhere, and it's going to be at nighttime. and I'm going to show regular headlights. I'm going to show the 20-inch light bar from Oedro with the headlights. I'm going to turn the headlights off to show the 20-inch light bar by itself. I'm going to turn that one off. I'm going to turn the aux beam on by itself, and then I'm going to turn everything on, and just to kind of give you guys a comparison of how the light splashes in the distance and how it performs in comparison to my aux beam and my headlamp. So I want to thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for all your support, and I will catch you on the next project.